With the recent review of the Sony X90K by Ratings website, they've heavily criticized this TV, and I'll go over their criticism and why this may be a bit of a problem for this TV going forward. And they have a very, very genuine reason for the heavy criticism. They checked this TV, they tested it, and they came to the conclusion that this is a pathetic release by Sony. They're saying that the X90K is a major downgrade from the previous X90J, with a lot of downgrades that wouldn't even warrant for you to spend money to purchase this new TV, because it's pretty much going against the grain of being an upgrade, and why you should even spend the money to begin with to buy the TV in the first place. So they have a bit of complaints, and I'll go over some of the findings from their review that has caused why they've criticized this TV heavily. So they're saying that the X90K, unfortunately, is a major downgrade because it has a poorer picture quality compared to the X90J, as well as um, having an uneven color reproduction, which is a problem because it's a 4K HDR TV. Color reproduction should be a very strong suit for it. So they've tested and they've come to this conclusion, and they are not happy with the results that they got. Now, some of the things that they checked, they gave most of their findings a total score of an 8 out of 10, which isn't too bad, but it's not on the level of the X90J score that was 8.2, 8.5 out of 10 in rating. So this is a bit of an issue. For instance, this newer model, the X90K, has a worse native contrast, which is 4,800 to 1 when you compare it to the predecessor that has a 5,600 to 1. That's contrast ratio. Now that's something that is very, very significant, because uh because you're giving people the impression that this is an upgrade they are buying. You don't give people lower specs, collect even more money from them, and you give them lower specs when it's tested. And these things are very, very, very bad by companies when they do these things, because customers will not have the luxury to test these displays out. They won't know what they're paying for. They would just pay for it because maybe they just under the illusion that there is an upgrade to be had by buying the new TVs, and at the end of the day they are burned by the company, which is not always the right thing to see. um they're saying contrast performance is worse off. It's not the best in off-axis viewing. That they're saying the color production in off-axis viewing is poorer than the previous model. That's something that they are not very, very very happy with. And even they criticize the local dimming features on it, and they're saying, look, um the black levels, the black level on this new X90K isn't up to par. That it's a lot to be desired, like in terms of not now, at times you might be swayed to maybe to some things that maybe once you don't like, you have to criticize it heavily. So sometimes maybe a reviewer becomes a bit harsh because maybe they just don't like maybe the stain they are seeing, because the company has given them that impression that they are pretty much getting an upgrade, and maybe the testing they're seeing is not up to scratch, and that's why they're increasingly angry with what they're seeing. Another thing is the brightness is marginally better than the previous model. It does 875 nits, which is 100 nits brighter than the X90J, which they say it's at least that one. It has a bit of an increase in that over the previous model. Um, Now that they said that there is minimal improvement in the variable refresh rate of the X90K at 1080p. But the panel isn't technically like better uh than most TVs in general. Like there isn't anything special technically that they're experiencing over previous models that exists already, whether it's from the Sony brand or from most brands, that they are not necessarily too impressed by its gaming performance, because variable refresh rate is what helps you for gaming if you're gaming a lot. So look, there's criticism that's pointed towards this TV. Um, I won't go out to tell people do not go and purchase the X90K. It's just pointing out that maybe this new model isn't up to scratch. Maybe it isn't ready to compete against the previous model, or maybe people might just have to look elsewhere to get themselves a TV that may be worthy of their time, their money, and their resources. So that's the review that has been pushed out by ratings platform for this TV. They went in depth, they analyzed everything about this TV, and they come to that conclusion that this TV is not a proper upgrade to the X90J. In fact, it's a downgrade because of the things that it's lacking, and they decided not to add. That's the conclusion they've arrived, and I respect that. I respect that from them. So that's it. At least that's their gripe with this TV. So the details about the TV, well, will still be in the description, because I will leave that if you want to go ahead, check it out. So do subscribe to the channel, do like our content, yeah, and follow us on here. I'll see everybody very much next time.